Hello everyone, Zarina Keyani here, aka Woolly Nomad. I'm out and about travelling. I'm in Greece at the moment, and I brought along some projects to work on. I've got some new projects I want to start. I've got my crochet I want to get on with, and I've got this lovely sock that I've just started, and I actually started it in the plane. But I want to get on with that one, and it's my go-to sock that I've just been doing on the channel, the easy sock, easy sock, yeah. Is that what I called it? I can't remember. Anyway, for this one I'm using a Drops Fable again, which is a lovely variegated yarn, and this is the ball band, which I kept for your purposes. I'm not using a 3mm needle. I'm going to be, well, I am using a 2.25, but yeah, so I've got the Drops Fable, and it's 75% wool, 25% polyamide, and the other ball is a Stylecraft ball. I really like that one. That's a really nice one, and I did get these in a sale from the Wool Warehouse, I think, a while back. So it's the head over heels Stylecraft, and designed by the sewing bee guy apparently. But yeah, this is what did I say? Yeah, so 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, and it's even got a picture of what it's going to look like if you wanted to just knit it without doing anything else, like no pattern or whatever. But I'm going to be doing a helical knit, and that's going to be added in when I start on that helical part, which I think is the next thing I'm doing. I've pretty much finished the toe. I'm using the 2.25 Addies. I really like these needles. They are comfy. This project is living in my project bag I made a couple of years ago, or a few years ago, I don't know how many years ago now, but I used this material, this fabric, and it's got a kind of a Christmas theme to it, but it doesn't matter, I use it all year round. It's got a pocket in there somewhere, but I don't know that I can find it. Let me scap around a minute. No, it's not happening. It's not letting me find that pocket. What I like about this project bag that I made is that you can sort of have it on your arm like so and knit on your project while you're walking, which is what I like to do. So I'll be using the Drops Fable and the Stylecraft, and I'll be putting in the helical knit. So the helical knitting is looking really great. I'm loving this color combination. Yeah. Great fun. So here I am in Athens, and I love walking around and doing my knitting, so that's what I will be doing. I'm at the point now where I can add in my waste yarn for the afterthought heel. And this is kind of what I like doing. I like to add in the waste yarn and do the heel later, because I just want to carry on with the round and round knitting. So I'm back in England, and my stint in Athens was lovely. I decided to call these the Athens socks. I started them with a Turkish cast on and a rounded toe, and I've knit up helically, and I think this helical design kind of reminds me of the city, hence the name. But now I'm here and I'm out and about walking about and knitting, and it's quite hard to film the walking and the knitting, so I'm just showing you my progress. And yeah, and I like this colour combination of these two yarns. I put in the waste yarn, so that's ready to go for the heel. So that's the afterthought heel, and the two yarns, let me just show you, the Drops Fable, yeah, and the, what was this one called? Oh, the Stylecraft. Yeah, you know, this Stylecraft yarn is really nice, really smooth, but both of them together are making this pattern, which I'm really loving. So it's really fun, and yeah, pretty much there it is. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on knitting while I walk around and make more progress. So I'm walking about with my project bag on my arm and the project. So the socks so far. Yeah, I mean, I've come quite a ways now, and I think I'm probably nearly or at the point where I can do the rib. So that's the next thing, so I'll be popping in that rib, but it's a nice length. Yeah. So I've made some progress with the ribbing, and I'm doing a 1x1 rib, and this is what the sock is looking like at the moment. And I'm really liking the design that has kind of emanated from the two colours. So I was using a Stylecraft and Drops Fable for the helical knit, which is what's happened, and that's the Stylecraft ball, and I'm using that now for the rib. I think that's working out really nicely. It's a really lovely yarn to use, and the Drops Fable started it. Oh, oops, the daisy. A minute. Yeah, so the Drops Fable started the whole thing with the toe. And it's kind of interesting because the toe is quite green looking, but then, yeah, look at that, and it doesn't look that green on the ball, but the toe seems quite green. I also picked up the green colour, but the rest of the knitting is very light and bright, whereas the toe seems darker somehow. So I'm on the second sock, and I've made quite a lot of progress, but I haven't really recorded it. So there we go. So I'm actually coming up to the bit where I think I might be doing the rib soon. I'm at the rib, and I'm on another walk in a different set of woods. And I don't know if anyone recognises these woods, but you know, you've got this nice pond as well. And yeah, there we go. But I am on the rib. And yeah, the sock is looking lovely. And I'm really enjoying knitting on this sock, I must admit. The Stylecraft yarn is particularly nice and soft and luxurious, I would say. And the Fable, you know, it's nice. You know, not as luxurious, but nice. I'm going to carry on walking around, enjoying this walk and the scenery while I'm knitting. So, hooray! I was trying to capture a bit of footage here of me knitting on the hoof, but pretty tricky. Me again trying to get some en route footage of me knitting. Trying to angle sort of under a tree. Sometimes you've just got to mooch about and be slow at what you're doing and take in the calm and serenity of what's around you, really, I suppose. What I find nice about walking around and knitting is you get the exercise and it lifts your mood. Knitting does anyway. I think I've managed to find the perfect place to record some knitting. I was trying to angle it here and there in the trees so that I could actually knit and you could see what I'm doing. Obviously it's not while I'm walking, and I think I'm going to have to, pop together some sort of rig so that you can see me walking and knitting. But I'm doing the rib here, as you can see. And yeah, I mean, I find it fun watching people knit, so I don't know if you find that as well. Let me know in the comments. I'm casting off, and I'm using a stretchy cast off, and it just happens to be in the white in the variegated Stylecraft yarn. And I'm nearly there. I'm pretty much at the end, and I will be totally casting off and I'll be done, apart from the heels. The second sock is done. Well, apart from the heels. Right, so these are both the socks, and all they need is obviously a little bit of finishing. I've got some loose threads, and also they need their heels. But they've come out really nice. I used the Stylecraft yarn for the ribs and for the helical knitting, and it was a really lovely, like I said before, a really nice yarn to use, nice and soft, and yeah, very, very nice. So I'm going to be using that again, I think. So at this stage, I like to look for anomalies in the knitting and see if I've got anything funny going on with the stitches. So I found a hole. I've basically dropped a stitch here, so I'm going to have to repair that stitch, which isn't a difficult thing to do. I mean, and if you didn't repair it, it probably wouldn't come undone because this is wool, and wool tends to felt to itself. Yeah, but is that quite noticeable? If I feel it's noticeable, then it's a good idea to try and knit that in. And is that another one there? Maybe. Yeah. So, but anyway, we'll see if I do bother with that. I'm at the point where I'm taking out the waste yarn. So it's time now to pop in the decreases. Out and about, having a lovely cup of something and also a waffle at some point probably. I'm just popping in the heels, and I'm using the Drops Fable to do that, and it's coming out quite nice. So yeah, that's all good. I kind of wanted to keep some of that Stylecraft yarn back. I'm back home and making progress with the decreases. So we've got a little bit of a tunnel mouth going on. Soon these will be done and I will be modelling them for you. So yeah, but I'm decreasing every other row and I'm decreasing 4 stitches. So that's one of my early paintings. Yeah, so I'm decreasing 4 stitches each row. So be back with my try on. Athens socks are complete and on the feet. We're not in Athens anymore, but we have the socks to remind us of that lovely time there. But yeah, the idea was that they have a city feel to them, really, and I think that's well, for me they certainly do, with how the lines are, you know, and sort of areas that could be buildings, could be landscapes, I don't know. Yeah, so I enjoyed knitting these socks. It was a really fun thing, and I actually enjoyed taking some vlog of them as well. And these are kind of knit, well, they are knit in the style of the easy knit socks, or the easy socks that I have popped a tutorial on prior to this. So if you want to see how to knit this kind of sock, which is an easy sock helical round toe knit, then go back into the easy sock playlist and you'll find all the videos there. And I've even got a second sock so that you don't get left behind when you're onto your second sock, and you actually have a new video to look at. Pretty similar to the rest of the videos because obviously the techniques are similar, but there are some problem solving in the first videos which maybe are not in that last video, so yeah. But anyway, going back to these socks, yes, I enjoyed them. The Starcraft yarn, really nice. I do recommend it. Drops Fable, always a favourite because of its colour combinations. And was it that splitty this time? I'm not sure that it was, actually. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, Athens socks done and dusted.